remember to appreciate your team. Great people are hard to find. When you get good people, you want to keep them. You want to hold on to them. You want to appreciate them. Show them through prompt payments, clear communication, sensible workloads, respect for their time, trust in their process, and flexibility in their work. Welcome to Grant CEO, the podcast for experienced grant writers ready to stop doing all the work and start leading like CEOs. I'm your host, DeaRonda Harrison, founder and CEO at June 1st Firm and creator of the 5P Grant CEO framework. Each week, we dive into the shifts in power, position, pull, pricing, and people that will help you build a business that hasn't created another job for you. Ready to step back and trust your team to deliver? I sure hope so. Go from grant writer to grant CEO. Let's get into it. In the recent episode, we talked about why paying everyone else and paying yourself last isn't noble, and that you definitely need to take care of yourself, and not just thinking about it of taking care of yourself, but making sure that you're being compensated as the leader, the strategist, the leader for your organization. And in this episode, I wanted to dive deeper into how to retain great team members while you're focused on paying them. And when you get good people on your team, I want to talk about how to retain them, how to keep them. So after you start paying yourself, after you start paying your team, after you start building a team, and that could be just your VA, just one grant writer on your team, and you have really quality team members, you want to make sure your next job is retention. One of the things I do and make it a point to do is pay my team members and pay them immediately. So once the invoice is sent over, typically within the same day, for the most part, 99% of the time they get paid that same day. The invoice triggers for me to make that payment. Paying your team immediately shows that you appreciate them and you value them. I've heard consultants or other grant writers, even freelancers that work for other grant writing agencies, make the comment that they've had to step away from working with some consultants because they were taking a long time to pay, and the feedback they would receive, the client hasn't paid me yet. And they were like, that's not my problem. So you want to make sure that you do what you have to do to get your team paid. There are options that you can, as a business owner, pursue different type of business loans to have that upfront cash to take care of your team. And then once you're compensated, you can repay the loan. So consider those as an option, because great team members are so invaluable. I've been working with the same team for a couple of years now, and I make it a point to make sure that I do what I can to take care of them, because you want them to stay with you. A strong team supports you as a CEO. They support your role, your growth, your sanity, your peace of mind, helping you to deliver on client work. So you want to make sure that, again, once you have great team members, you take care of them. Going back to paying them immediately when that invoice arrives, using that invoice as a trigger to make your payments. I know you think about it as a certain date on the calendar to make your payments. That may work for you, but for me, I use that when my clients invoice me as the alert to make those payments. Again, no waiting for client payments. Pay your team as soon as possible. No, I'll pay you when a check clears from another client. Pay your team as soon as possible. Paying quickly earns respect and builds trust. It also differentiates you from bigger firms who are paying multiple writers, who are burnt out, who have so many tasks on their plate, who feel undervalued and overworked. So even thinking about your team's workload, I have a couple of women who have smaller children who are on my team, who work late nights, even evenings or early mornings while their child is in daycare. So they take advantage of those times of that time of the day to work. So being considerate of allowing them to have flexible schedules. They're not required to have to be on 9 to 5. All of my team is 1099 and can't demand them be on at a certain specific time of the day. So to keep that in mind as well, you can request that they be available for some client meetings during work hours as needed, but generally They work on their own time, flexible time and schedules as they need to. If you need more steady clientele or steady team members during work hours that need to be available, you need to look into hiring W-2 employees. There are tax implications for having W-2 versus 1099, so definitely talk to a tax professional in regards to that. So again, I use my example of 3 years with the same grant team. I've been working with the same team for a number of years now. It was not easy hiring initially. I had a very difficult time, but once I did get the team, a strong team, putting SOPs in place and just making sure that I take care of them, they have been consistent with me since that time. Also, I look at my team members as strategic partners. They're just not performing a task. Some of them lead on client work. Some of them meet directly with clients during business hours, providing strategy, providing their insight and thoughts. They're even making decisions on what's the best approach for this grant opportunity. What should we apply for? What should we ask? So even allowing them to be strategic partners and helping you think through projects and grant ask and any type of different types of activities. So that's another way to also really value your team. Many large grant firms that I've talked to, other grant writers who have been employed there, they have so many different clients. One grant writer could have up to 6 or 7 clients that they have to manage at a given time. And having that many clients month to month with multiple grant deadlines, I've heard them being overworked, burnt out, working way more than 40 hours per week. And on paper, their salary looks decent, but of course, they're working much more than 40 hours a week and they're on salary. So they are just burned down working several hours. It's just too much work. And when it's all said and done, the pay, once you break it down, is not sufficient. Very limited boundaries because they have to meet all those deadlines and they're given that workload and that's what they have to meet. So those firms can burn out grant writers very fast. So you don't operate like that. You don't want to operate like that. You want to make sure you give your team members a reasonable workload and just have those constant conversations. How are you feeling? Is this enough? Is it too much work? Is there something that I can take off your plate? How can I support you? And just making sure you continue to have those conversations. You want to make sure your business model intentionally avoids the overworking your writers. You want to offer a sustainable workload with humane expectations. Also, again, allowing your team members to be flexible. Flexibility is a part of retention. Many grant writers, again, are moms or caregivers, and they need the flexibility in their schedule. That's why they chose not to be at a 9-to-5, because they needed more flexibility. And you want to ensure that if your team members of that makeup, that they are allowed that. You want to be able to allow them to work at night, early morning, or when children are asleep. And they can still deliver high quality work because, again, they have that freedom and flexibility to work during those times. You want to make sure your system allows people to work, when they're most productive, and just working out times and ways for them to contact you within their hours that make sense for them to work. If they need anything, make sure they have access to everything. Make sure you're using shared files. We use Google Drive for everything, where they have access to client files, and make sure they can get whatever they need to complete projects. So the bigger message, just remember to appreciate your team. Great people are hard to find. When you get good people, you want to keep them. You want to hold on to them. You want to appreciate them. Show them through prompt payments, clear communication, sensible workloads, respect for their time, trust in their process, and flexibility in their work. So retention is not accidental. It's intentional. And I want to make sure that the team members that I have on my team can do that. I know there's some grant firms that do not want you working for other clients or having your own clients. I am okay with you working with other clients, having your own clients and working in that manner. Again, I allow for that flexibility. If they make the decision to work for me, they made the decision to know that they can provide or take on additional workload, even with their own clients. So that's okay. And that's allowed, again, allowing for that flexibility. There are some firms that do not allow that, and they attract those type of writers to their team that are just writing for their agency. Paying your team fast is almost a business strategy. So you want to make sure that you do that again and keep them on board. When your team feels valued, they stay longer, deliver better, and really help you meet your goals for your business. So just keep these things in mind. Let me know what you think about this. Feel free to send me a message, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I'd love to know if anything resonates with you. Is there anything that stood out to you? Is there anything you have additional questions about? Happy to talk to you about it even more. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Grant CEO. Please take a moment to write down your Grant CEO move of the week. One action that will move your business forward in either power, position, pull, pricing, or people. And if what you desire is mentorship and support, visit our website at grantceo.com. There you can also learn more about the program. Keep leading, keep growing, and remember, your expertise deserves to be valued. I'll see you in the next episode.